Hello, all you freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. Police in Canada's capital began arresting people on February 17th who insisted on petitioning on Parliament Hill. The petitioners were not afraid and they chose to be arrested rather than to back down. At the same time, they insisted on remaining peaceful, proving by their actions that they are definitely not terrorists as described by the Trudeau government. American truckers decided to take the Canadian truckers' demands one step further, not by asking to end a particular mandate, but to end the federal government's emergency powers. President Trump announced, "Your favorite president will see you soon." He will soon have his own independent and unrestricted outlet. Once Truth Social goes live, who will be the first far-left social media outlet to go bankrupt? Okay, let's get into it. On February 17th, police in Ottawa, Canada began clearing the streets of vehicles and crowds around Parliament Hill. City News reported that 2 buses full of police were heading to Capitol Hill on Thursday morning after a large number of police and equipment were also spotted near the capital's airport. Ottawa Police Chief Peoples Convoy abruptly resigned on February 15th amid the Freedom Convoy protests. Convoy announced his decision on social media, saying, "It is with a heavy heart I am announcing I have stepped down as Chief of the Ottawa Police Service. Since the onset of this demonstration, I have done everything possible to keep the city safe and put an end to this unprecedented and unforeseeable crisis." He also mentioned that the new integrated command center has been set up to handle the crisis. Steve Bell took over as the interim police chief. He promised on Wednesday at an emergency meeting of the Ottawa City Council to take action to clear the downtown area of protesters in the coming days. Tamara Lynch, one of the convoy organizers, posted on social media on Wednesday saying she could be arrested, but she was not afraid. She also urged protesters to remain calm and to respect our police officers who are also trying to feed their families. On Thursday, police warned protesters that if they did not leave the protest site immediately, they would face stiff penalties, including arrest and criminal charges, vehicle impoundment, or removal and suspension of their driver's licenses. City News spoke with some of the protesters in Ottawa who would not budge in the face of the latest round of police warnings. One protester said she won't leave. She's willing to be arrested. People can't submit to this tyranny. It's for the sake of freedom. She said she has nothing to fear because she hasn't done anything wrong. Later on Thursday, protest organizer Chris Barber was taken into police custody, and in the evening, convoy organizer Tamara Lynch was arrested by Ottawa police. Senior parliamentary reporter for CBC News Dave Cochran said on Twitter, both she and Chris Barber, who was arrested earlier, are expected to be charged criminally, according to sources. People recalled a tweet that Justin Trudeau sent out. He took a 2005 quote from Stephen Harper, the Prime Minister before Trudeau, and tweeted it out back in 2012. It says, "When a government starts trying to cancel dissent or avoid dissent is when it's rapidly losing its moral authority to govern." Harper in 2005. This is what Trudeau tweeted. Does Trudeau still remember this tweet? Isn't this exactly what he is doing right now? The actions of Canadian truckers over the past 3 weeks have united truckers around the world. It has also united freedom-loving people around the world. Like the dandelion flowers that bloom in your yard in the spring, you dig up the first one that blooms, you turn around and find another one behind it. When you look again, you find the yard full of blooming yellow flowers. Eradicating them is nearly impossible. An American-style Freedom Convoy will kick off on February 23rd from Barstow, California, and will head to Washington, D.C. to peacefully protest the end of the federal government's emergency powers in response to COVID-19. The name of the convoy is the Peoples Convoy and will be nonpartisan and cross-cultural in nature. It is estimated that 500 to 1,000 trucks will depart from Barstow, a city about 100 miles from Los Angeles, and it plans to arrive in Glen Rio, Texas on February 25th. For security reasons, the exact locations are not being released. The detailed route will only be announced a couple of days in advance. The convoy, organized by the truckers, is open to everyone. Brian Brace, one of the organizers of the People's Convoy, told the Epoch Times, "This is for every American. No matter where you come from or your personal background, this is for every person to be a part of. This is not a left issue or a right issue. This is an American issue." Brace continued, "This is for everyone that believes in their personal freedoms as a human being and as an American, their personal freedoms that are protected by the Constitution of the United States." Human rights attorney Lee Dundas told the Epoch Times that the goal of the protest is to handle the situation at the root level. Dundas said, "The message is really that the abuse of emergency powers that we've seen in multiple states and the feds engaged in over the last almost 2 years has to stop. The state of emergency needs to end. There is no emergency anymore." Trump's own social media platform, Truth Social, will be launched at the earliest on February 21st on President's Day. Liberals fearing President Trump's influence have used Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms to block his accounts in an attempt to cut off his voice. In the end, he decided to create his own platform, Truth Social. Donald Trump Jr. recently sent the first post on Truth Social. It has a page style and layout similar to Twitter. However, the official certification account is marked with a red check mark instead of a blue one used by Twitter and Facebook. And Trump chose to use the exact same photo as his past Twitter account as his headshot. In his first post, Trump said, "Get ready, your favorite president will see you soon. It's time for some truth." The Daily Mail reported that the Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, is in the final testing of its online social interaction platform called Truth Social. Users can download the software through the Apple App Store. Truth Social promises to encourage open, free, and honest global conversation without discriminating against political ideology. Liz Willis, the Vice President of Operations for Right Side Broadcasting Network, also revealed that she is participating in the platform's beta testing. She said, "All I can say is that y'all are going to love it." And she said that Trump's impending return is a sign that the world is healing. Mainstream media continues to ignore the Durham filing, but once Truth Social goes live, people will have a place to go to learn the facts. We have presented the main concerns raised from Durham's filings on our membership site. I want to show you the trailer. On February 14th, President Trump released a statement about the biggest news of our time, and it's being completely ignored by the mainstream media. Trump said, "Can you imagine that? What should be the biggest story of our time, bigger than Watergate, is getting absolutely no mention, zero. In the New York Times, Washington Post, ABC fake news, NBC fake news, CBS fake news, ratings dead CNN, and MSDNC. He calls MSNBC MSDNC. The statement came after special counsel John Durham filed some of his findings with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia on February 11th. The court document states that Hillary Clinton's campaign team spied on Trump in 2016 while he was the Republican presidential candidate, and the spying didn't stop even after Trump became president in 2017. So, how did this happen? We'll go into more details on our membership site at frontpageshow.com. Okay, let's get back into it. Honduran police arrested former President Juan Orlando Hernandez on February 15th at his home. The arrest was made in response to an extradition request from the United States. The U.S. has charged him with drug trafficking and the use of weapons in a drug trafficking operation. Hernandez chose to turn himself in. Hernandez left office last month after 8 years and 2 terms as president. Authorities had surrounded his home since Monday night. Early on Tuesday, he posted a recording on his Twitter page confirming that he was preparing to turn himself in. A judge signed the arrest warrant on Tuesday morning. Police took him into custody quickly. Hernandez was wearing a bulletproof vest and his hands and feet were cuffed as he was led out of his home. Honduran Security Minister Ramon Sabillon said Hernandez's arrest was an historic feat. However, Hernandez's defense attorney denounced that his rights as a representative of the Central American Parliament had been violated and that he had voluntarily accepted extradition. So there's no need for the court to go through the trouble of issuing another arrest warrant. Hernandez was sworn in as the Honduran representative to the Central American Parliament on the day he left office on January 27th. U.S. prosecutors in New York have repeatedly named Hernandez as an accomplice in his brother's 2019 drug trafficking trial, saying his political rise was fueled by drug profits. His brother, Juan Antonio Tony Hernandez, was sentenced to life in prison in March of 2021 for drug trafficking and weapons. The former president has denied the charges against him, claiming that the incident was a lie made by the arrested drug lord looking for revenge and to get a reduced sentence. Hernandez has maintained that he did his best to fight drug trafficking during his tenure as president from 2014 to 2022 and that he had received support from the U.S. government during the Trump administration. Reuters noted that the extradition request reveals a major shift in the U.S. government. During Hernandez's 8 years in power, the U.S. government saw him as a key ally in Central America. Biden has kept his distance from Hernandez since coming to power. Hernandez is the second former president of Honduras to be extradited for trial in the United States. In 2016, former President Rafael Cajejas was indicted by the U.S. for alleged corruption during his tenure as president of the Honduran Football Federation. And so Hernandez is on his way to the United States, where everybody will soon have Truth Social. I want to take a moment to thank you all for your support of Front Page. Your donation and your membership subscription help us to keep telling the truth. Every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, please double check to make sure that you are still subscribed. We've heard from many of our viewers that they don't get notifications of our videos anymore. So follow us on Telegram, Gab, and Getter for the latest updates. All of the links are in the description below. Okay, this is our show for today. Thank you for watching Front Page. And please don't forget to like and subscribe this video and share it with your friends and family because everybody deserves to know the truth. Again, thank you for watching Front Page, and we will see you next time.